Hello, everybody. Welcome to Imperial Pulls. His name is Brian, and I'm still Joe. Obviously, Brian's not here tonight, and I am riding solo. Those of you who are here tonight, thank you very much. Those who are going to join us, and those who watch it later on, we appreciate it as well. Last week, we had a few technical difficulties, so we just kind of stopped halfway through the stream, so apologies to those of you that were watching. We were lined up to have a pretty good episode of Jank. So next week, we should, as long as technology works tonight, next week we should have an episode of Jank for you. We'll recap the couple of packs that we opened, and Brian should be back next week. But we figured this week we'd just fight with some technology, get it working, and Brian can have the night off. So, welcome to episode 86 of Imperial Pulls, and tonight we're going to open up some Genesis Battle of Champions Invasion. Where's Brian? He's just not here. Sometimes, you know what, when it comes to the tech side of things and I volunteer to kind of set it all up, Jason, we just, we can trade off. Sometimes I leave, sometimes he leaves, but he's here in spirit, and, you know, we'll probably play some Sandstorm in his honor later on. But to get started, we've got some news from Edge of Exile this week, which is very exciting. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You'll just have to wait a little bit longer. But there's a few things, I guess, happening. And as we get through this box of Invasion, we'll talk about it a little bit. And actually, Jason, if you're around too, you can elaborate on what's going on once we start chatting about it. And we'll talk about some news. As I mentioned, we're going to open a box of Invasion, first edition. I do have my Imperial knife that Brian was kind enough to give me a couple of years ago as a gift, kind of just before we started doing this channel. So he's not the only one who gets to cut open packs. Jason, while I get this ready here, do you have a favorite card in Invasion? There we go. So let's pop this puppy open. Let's see what we can pull. There are still a few cards that I'm after. I believe Will is after a few things too, so you just never know what's going to come out of these boxes. So here we are. There's the packs in all the glory. And let's take these ones out. So of course you get 15 cards per pack in this set. There are 24 booster packs in the box. And Lord of the Hunt, yeah, Janice, I think that's a given for Jason. I would agree. As we've mentioned a couple times in the show, you see this little kind of stone pattern and the packaging for these, and as we get into the first packs, the backs of the cards. I've been fortunate to be the designer for that stuff. When Edge of Exile asked me to design for the cards, of course, I was super stoked, and you know, it's awesome to see them kind of circulating, and maybe there's a new set coming soonish. Maybe there's some new cards coming soonish. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the episode holds. All right, so let's get started. Now, Janice, is that your favorite card, or is that you're just saying that for Jason? We have Twister. Actually, I'm going to bring that camera down just a smidge. Leg Sweep. Yes, my favorite card in Invasion is still Lord of the Hunt. Took a minute to go back and look at the whole set, and it's still your favorite. Amazing. There's a lot of really good art in this set. Corpse Heap, Dark Puppet, Mental Dagger, Ruined Sculpture, Entangling Encumbrance, Senate Remains, Cursed Existence, Word of Command, Murta. I already see something in the back of this pack. Janice, what is your favorite card in this set? Do you have one? Murta, Scavenge Parts, the Botrix guy. That's just an automated thing that we installed on OBS a while back, and he comes to every stream. He's super reliable. Waiting Kerma, We have a Healthy Inspiration Epic Borderless. Slide that over there. And a Gamiya. And then an Infected Brush. And I mentioned the backs of the cards. These are the cards I had the exciting part of designing. So we'll see these on future sets, on OP cards. Amazing. Well, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about with some news from the Edge is if you're on the Discord, you'll have seen a post from Jason that they've taken a huge step towards the online client. They are now confirmed that they are registered with the Steam people. So with Steam, they've got all their paperwork set up, everything's been accepted, and they are an official Steamworks video game developer. So congratulations. That's super exciting, Jason. I know you've been really putting the time into getting this happening and working your butt off on it. So congratulations on that. And now we can get to the coming soon stuff. So I don't know if you have an ETA for it or what you're thinking, but I know that Swag Strategy, it's very good news. 2025 is lining up to be a great year for Genesis. And hello, Swag Strategy and Jeremy. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have Ruined Sculpture, Hungry Hound, Senate Remains, Nash in Resonance, Benign Acclamation, Rugged Majara, Shield Bash, Evade Right, Angel of Fortitude, one of those big friggin' angels in the set, Blood Whip, Eye Gouge. This one, I love this card, but it's so unsettling. Can we focus in this camera? There we go. It's just so unsettling with the art. Word of Command, Blinding Light, Cobbled Amalgamate, and Proteus, and a Gravan. So one thing I didn't do to start the episode off was crack open a beer. And that's because I didn't want to drink alone, but I've got all my friends here, so I'm going to, I did say whip, I'm going to have a Tim Hortons coffee. I actually did a speed run when it was about 7:40, and I thought I need a coffee before I go live at 7:50 with the countdown, and I managed to make it to Tim Hortons, go through the drive-thru, get back here, park, run up the stairs, and still hit the timer to go. Make your eyes water? Absolutely. That card is, it's funny how eyes just can get us. So if you did see last week's stream and knew we had some tech difficulties, we were losing frames all over the place. It looks like we're doing all right tonight. Is there any lag or freezing on your end? Entangling Encumbrance. Is that focused? I can't really tell. Toxic Mushroom, Light Net, Blood Blade, Blood Feast, Leg Sweep, Raging Rooster, one of Brian's favorite cards. He likes these little small, funky creatures that you throw in there and then they die, and they're a lot of fun. I kept reloading the video over and over last week, but there was not to be. Tonight, however, is all good with stream. Wonderful. What is different this week that wasn't here? Only one thing I can think of. Mental Dagger, Angel of Death, Earth Spear, Spilled Knowledge, Blood Spear, Matkuna, Necrotic Touch, Lagaya Shiny. There we go. Less drinking this week? Perhaps. Sometimes, we do have a strong beer that's like 7%, but we usually get everything set up before we get the beer started. So you never know what's going to happen. Light Net, Benign Acclamation, From the Corpse, Angel of Words, another big angel in this set, another Raging Rooster, Cleanse, Meat Shield, Evade Right, Chained Carver, Tantubana, oh man, I make fun of Brian every week when he tries to read Pokemon. Tantunaba, I'm just going with that. Fling, Plague Dasa. I like that card a lot too. Water Break. Earthen Rupture. And Proteus with a Mitosis token. So everybody else in the chat, do you have a favorite card in the set yet? What are you looking forward to? Also, let's talk about what the other news is here. So we've got the online thing happening, which is super exciting. Let's see here. I know in the Discord they were asking about launch date for or release date for Metamorphosis. Nothing yet, but there's some the online client going. And there's some talk of some in-store organized play coming the end of this year. Jason, do you have anything to say about that? Do you want to elaborate at all? Haven't played enough games with the set. I think I feel the same way that because we had so many other sets that kind of built up and cracking boxes of Origins like crazy. Art-wise, Angel of Bliss is your favorite. Yeah, that's a great card. I really actually like all of the angels in this set. They offered a new dynamic and too many good cards. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. We have Corpse Heap, Rampaging Mare, Spirit Guide, another card that's really good. It's not very expensive and it does a little bit of attack, but it always it runs back to you every time it runs out there, kind of jabs and runs back. Kind of a neat mechanic in that one. Dark Puppet, Taru, Ruin Sculpture, From the Corpse, Toughen Up, Blind Justice, Empower. Dreamblade is really pretty as well. Blood Whip, Angel of Fortitude. You don't think the Angel of Fortitude's pretty? Come on. So pretty. Earthbreak, Earthen Rupture, a Gamilla Borderless. We're doing really well with these. We've got 4 packs in. We've already got 3 epics. Jason says, elaborate on the upcoming in-store play announcements. I can say I'm hoping we'll be ready to make some announcements when Janice and I return from Mecha Games on Sunday, June 1st. That actually is the third thing I was going to talk about today, Jason. But since you brought it up, I will mention it now. If you're in the St. Catharines area, or if you're not and you want to make a bit of a road trip, on Sunday, June 1st, Jason and Janice will be at Mecha Games. Great game store. It's got everything going on there. They've got model painting and role playing. They've got a film, like a streaming studio. They play lots of Magic and Genesis and Pokemon and all that stuff. Go check it out if you haven't been before. Brian and I went last year, and we've been once again since. Such a cool place. The artwork in this set is really good and so consistent across the cards. Absolutely. They elevated the art style in this set, I feel. And like you said, it's consistent. It just kind of, the style, it doesn't look like, even though there were different artists, it doesn't look like a whole mismatch of things thrown together. It was really cohesive. Happy to share that you received a quote from your graphic designer and you'll be proceeding to put him to work as soon as possible on fun and exciting things. I think I know that guy, and I think he's excited. Fontaneller, that friggin' line of sight. Turn, Infected Brush, Andaseru, Malediction Strike, Blind Spot, Mitosis, Pestilent Consumption, Ashani, Chained Carver, Hurricane Thrasher, Duma Editor, Encased in Stone. That's another fun card. Not to be played against, but to play with. Doomblade, Harlequin, and Infected Brush. That's what I was saying at the top of the episode. This is going to be a great year for Genesis. I think that by the end of 2025, we're going to have a lot more momentum. I think I have anything to do with it. We're going to have a lot more momentum, and I think that the fans are going to be really excited, and the new fans are going to have something really great to kind of come into for those who are just starting to play the game. Rampaging Mare. Defensive Pose. Siphon Vitality. Another Spirit Guide. Smoke. Taru. Fontaneller. Hungry Hound. Lasting Advice. Life's Balance. That card is deadly too. All summons in the arena have their life become the same as the summon with the lowest life in the arena. So if you throw a bunch of stuff in there, knock it down to 1, or you have Fontanellers, everything goes down to 1. It's not nice. Cornered Respite. Somatic Reflexes. Devastation. Lord of the Hunt, Jason. There we go. And a Harlequin. There's Jason's favorite card right there. Will it focus on that that close? Maybe not. Well, so far I think we're doing really well with this box. So you mentioned, a few of you mentioned that you haven't done much playing with this set yet, but what would your favorite set, not so much artwork goes or new cards or anything like that, but what is your favorite set so far, or are you the kind of person who builds decks and mixes the sets together? We've got a Meat Shield, Vault, Aura Surge, Senate Remains, Siphon Vitality, Angel of Words, Brain Beast, Smoke, Melina Karate, another one with great artwork, Eye Gouge again, Duma Edgeter, Ashani, Rending Blade, another Lord of the Hunt, and a Borderless Proteus. I'm going to jump over here to the camera hub for a minute and see if I can't crash something. We'll know in just a minute if it crashes, and it didn't. Wonderful. I want to try to focus the camera a little bit more on this guy. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I'll have to hold them down here for some better focus, and it's close, but that's all right. Let's get back to it. What do we got here? Nostalgic about Beta, but Invasion improved the artwork, design, balance of production, so Invasion. Got to get the Lord of the Hunt on board. Lord on board! Lord of the Hunt, woo! Let's see if we can get a few more. Did I mess these up already? Maybe I did. Is that a third Lord of the Hunt? Or did I just do this pack already? There's the Proteus, Borderless. Meat Shield, Vault, Aura Surge. I did this one already. Yeah. All right. Losing my mind. It's all right. I've been drinking coffee. There's the problem right there. Jason, since you're hanging out in here tonight, I know it's early. Is there anything about whether it's OP or Metamorphosis that you can share? I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, but is there anything that that people might be excited to find out? Infected Brush, Malediction Strike, Nash and Resonance, Rugged Majara, Mitosis, Shield Bash, I love this card, Pestilent Consumption, Turn, Sensory Shock, Springing Mole, Curse of Retaliation, Versaka Sapling, Electric Break, Lunge, Cutaneous, and Rune Sculpture. Man, these packs are hard enough to open that I can't even tease Brian anymore about using a knife. And with those little tabs, I still managed to butcher it. We've got a Far Shot. Look at that awareness. Fantastic. Pox Spreader, Mental Dagger, Realigned, Prokaryotic Hounds, Twin Arrows, Rune Sculpture, Twister, Corrupt Opportunity, Lioness Leader, Danunata, Cursed Existence, Necrotic Touch, Angel of Bliss. There we go. That's another beautiful card in the set. Cutaneous and Mitosis. What does Jason say? There's certainly some things that people will be excited to find out, but we are close to when we want to make those announcements. So unfortunately, nothing new that you could reveal tonight. That is totally okay. It's just as exciting to know that we're getting close to announcements. I know that many of us have been waiting very, very, mostly patiently, to hear more about Met and to know what's happening. So it's just really exciting to see that there's things on the horizon. Delayed protections, benign acclamation, cleanse, evade right, defensive pose, hungry hound, Nashin resonance, rugged Majara, no pain, no gain. This is the card we got to reveal on the show for this set. When an enemy deals damage to you, draw a card. At the end of each round, if you have drawn one or more cards because of no pain, no gain, sacrifice no pain, no gain. Corrupt Opportunity, Evisceration, Murta, something shiny, Shiny Rogan, Natural Causes. Look at that, the shiny. Nice. The Harlequin and Skeleton Warrior, the foil treatment, this kind of pop bubblegum confetti foil is so nice in this set. I will say, though, that if anyone has any dream reprints that they really hope to see in the future, they should make sure these hopes are known to us. Oh, so we can see some old cards. You mentioned Beta earlier, Swack, that maybe we can pull those in. That would be great. Speaking of Beta, and even going back to Alpha, if you missed our episodes of January, we did 12 weeks of January, something like that, where we opened a booster box of every set. With the exception of Alpha, we opened one of the 2018 two-player starter sets. So it was neat each week to start from Invasion and kind of go back through the history of Genesis and see kind of the cards that kind of started it all. So if you haven't seen those episodes, go back and check them out. Toxic Mushroom, Senate Remains, Angel of Words, Entangling Encumbrance, Bloodblade, Benign Acclamation, Light Net, Cleanse, Stalwart Defense, don't think we've seen that one yet tonight, Evisceration, Murta, Infectious Wound, Healthy Inspiration, Firebreak, Yuvan. I'm trying to think what cards I would love to see reprinted. Because we did get kind of a reprint set with J2, but there's a lot of good cards in the previous sets too that, depending on how the mechanics work with the new stuff, would be a really great fit. Taru, Prokaryotic Hounds, Gravan, another Toughen Up, Healing Wave, Toxic Mushroom, Vault, Aura Surge, Soulfire Strike, Akarvata, Earth Spear, Angel of Justice, Distracting Shot, Razorback Gorilla, I think that's the first time we've seen that tonight as well, Heavy Dark Attack of 4, Yuvan, and a Skeleton Warrior. Well, it looks like we're not skipping any frames, so maybe the changes I made this week might actually work. That would be wonderful. We'll just get this camera to focus just a little bit better and we'll be all set. Shield Bash, Turn, Andaseru, Fontaneller, Blind Spot, Infected Brush, Far Shot, Malediction Strike, Taru Stag, Probably, in my opinion, the most beautiful card in this set. Just the design, the elements. Damian, of course, is the artist on this one, which kind of speaks for itself. Scavenge parts. Word of command. Tantunuba. I'm going to do... Yeah, well, let's just... yeah. Tantunaba. Excruciation, which is what it sounds like for me to try to pronounce that one. Amakura. I don't think I have that one yet. There we go. Now I do. Akuna foil. Cutaneous and a Taru token. And we just crossed the halfway mark in the box. We've got about 10 sets left, so some really great pulls. Taru stag is very pretty. I'd like to have that as a giant blanket. If for those of you who know where giant blankets are made. Blood Feast, Defensive Pose, Hungry Hound, another Raging Rooster, Corpse Heap, Rampaging Mare, Dark Puppet, Spirit Guide, Angel of Revenge, Long Limbs, Scavenge Parts, Loss, Vayu Ashva. Have we seen that one tonight? I'm not sure. Rending Blade, Lagaya, and a Rune Sculpture. Jeremy, if you're still in here, we should make a time to get together and play some Genesis. Once May is over, because this month is just bonkers. But one day soon, we should a number of us should get together and play some Genesis. Gravan, Mitosis, Healing Wave, Pestilent Consumption, Realigned, Twin Arrows, Toughen Up, Anduseru, Melina Karate, Blood Whip, Spilled Knowledge, No Pain, No Gain. I see another epic. Archon of Vengeance. We have an Airbreak, Borderless, a Yvonne, and a Prokaryotic Hounds token. For reprints, I'm guessing some people may want Ajna Tiger, Chrono Walker, Giant Scorpion, DC. Yes, definitely. I would throw in a Giant Scorpion Death Companion. They are some of the classic beasts, and they're just fun cards. Again, fun cards to play with, but not fun cards to play against. Evade Right, From the Corpse, Taru, Toughen Up, Mash and Resonance, Vault, Aura Surge, Fontaneller, Tantunaba, Cursed Existence, Fling, Angel of Revengi, Dreamblade, Earthbreak, Yadael, and Skeleton Warrior. Thanks to everybody for coming in tonight. You never know. It's a Tuesday. People are working. They're just recovering from a long weekend here in Canada as well. And I appreciate that you take your time to join me. And then when Brian's here, we both love the fact that you watch our episodes and you take part. So really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We have Realigned, Bloodblade, Twin Arrows, Blood Feast, Corpse Heap, Brain Beast, Twister, Dark Puppet, Affliction Transference, Reform Position, Malini Karate, Somnium. We definitely haven't seen that tonight. Well, you have one or less cards in your thoughts. Somnium costs 0 to beckon. Evasive, Matkuna, Lagaya, Taru. This video needs more likes. Jason, I think you're correct. Go on over to that little button. Click the like. If you don't subscribe, I imagine everybody here does now, but for those of you watching later, if you don't subscribe, click the subscribe button. Click the like button if you like the video. And click that little dinger. So when you're hanging around on Tuesday, just kind of doing nothing, wishing you had something to do, and you get a little ding to remind you that 8 o'clock Eastern Time every Tuesday, Brian and I try to go live to open up some cards, different TCGs or jank, which is basically just a mix of whatever we find, flea markets or under the couch or anything else. We've got a Blind Spot, Pox Spreader, Vault, Far Shot, Prokaryotic Hounds, Aura Surge, Gravan, Toxic Mushroom, Angel of Fortitude, Eye Gouge, Duma Editor, Ashani, Pretty Bird. Amazing card. When Pretty Bird deals damage to a champion, that champion sends the top card of their timeline to their subconscious. Allied champions of Pretty Bird may play that card this round. So you get to steal people's cards. And again, it's one of those mechanics in this game that are really fun to play, but a real pain in the ass to play against. And we've got another borderless. We have a Firebreak epic. What a killer box. Legaia and Corpse Heap. With 1, 2, 3, 4 left after this pack. Now, I know most of you are big fans of Genesis Battle of Champions. What other card games would you like to see us open? We've done things like Flesh and Blood and Magic and Pokemon, and we've got a couple of other things on the go. But are there any card games you'd like to see us open? And a lot of the times, those games that we kind of get recommendations for, or some people send us booster boxes to open on the show, which is super cool, because we're not sponsored. We're merely enthusiasts, as Brian would chime in with me if he was here. If there are games that you would like to see us open, please let us know. You can let us know in the comments, or I'll give you some contact information later. Meat Shield, Brain Beast, Siphon Vitality, Rugged Majara, Delayed Protections, Smoke, Galid, Leg Sweep, Lasting Advice, you gain 2 and draw 1 card, Life's Balance, Infectious Wound, Somatic Reflexes, Pull of the Grave. I don't know if we've seen that one yet. Jason, this is one of the ones that you had animated, wasn't it? This was one of the animations that I think I remember seeing. Shinya Rogan, Gamila, and Taru. We have a From the Corpse, Delayed Protections, Galid, Entangling Encumbrance, Meat Shield, Light Net, Raging Rooster, Siphon Vitality, Southpaw, Angel of Death, Blind Justice, another No Pain, No Gain, Natural Causes, the regular card, we pulled the shiny earlier, Airbreak, Yadiel, and Prokaryotic Hounds. Brain Beast, Bloodblade, Delayed Protections, Gilid, Upside Down. What? It's the first time I think I've seen that in this set. Healing Wave, Realigned. Haha, Realigned. It was upside down. Blood Feast, Twin Arrows, Corrupt Opportunity, Evisceration, Hurricane Thrasher, Taru Stag, Burning Abomination, Shinya Rogan, Epic, Yadiel, and Gravan. Down to our last 2 packs. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me tonight. It's way more fun to have a crowd to chat with than to sit here and talk to myself while I look at cards. Infected Brush, Shield Bash, Malediction Strike, Turn, Mitosis, Andaseru, Blind Spot, Far Shot, Cornered Respite, Plague Dasa, Springing Mole, Reform Position, Healthy Inspiration, Sundered Sweep, Proteus, Prokaryotic Hounds. We are hitting our last pack. We're about 45 minutes or 35 minutes into the live with a 10-minute countdown. And as we open this last pack, let's see what happens. It's going to be a God pack. Hey, that's what I'd like to request for Metamorphosis. God packs. Smoke, Rampaging Mare, Spirit Guide, Angel of Words, Leg Sweep, Cleanse, Mental Dagger, Defensive Pose, Spilled Knowledge, Blood Spear, Empower, Taru Stag, Sundered Sweep, Archon of Searing Light, Gamilla, and a Corpse Heap. Now, before I switch cameras, I want to pull out all these epics we got. This was a really, really outstanding box. We have Shinya Rogan, Firebreak. Won't be able to see them all, but Firebreak, Airbreak, Proteus, Gamilla, and Healthy Inspiration for the regular epics. And then to add to the awesomeness, we have Lagaya, Matkuna, and Natural Causes. Like, that's a hell of a box. We had 9 epics out of this box. Jason, do you have it handy what the pull rate is on this set? Because I think we probably smoked that. I don't think it says on the box here, does it? It do not. It do not. All right. Let's switch back over here. Ha! There we are. It worked. Everybody, that was great. What a fun set to open. Swack, as you said, the artwork is consistent. It's a cohesive set, and it definitely steps up from the past set. So it's really exciting to think what they're taking it to the next level when Metamorphosis comes out, when the OP packs or cards come out, and then the future from that. Don't have those numbers on top of your head, but I agree that you certainly seem to smash the expected average for the hits for this box. For sure did. Yeah, definitely did. Well, I mentioned earlier, if you've got some cards or some sets that you think we should open, some different games, we've got different ways you can contact us. You can leave a message here in the chat. If you're watching this later, you can always just comment on the video, or if you want to, you can email us. If I press the button, you can email us at hello@imperialpolls.com, and Brian and I will get that. Or go right to imperialpolls.com, and that will bring you to this here YouTube channel, where, of course, you can subscribe and click the dinger and comment and like and all the cool stuff that we appreciate. I know that we're asking you to do this, but it's really how the channel grows and how we get more people to watch, and it's more fun for you guys because there's more people to chat with here on the live chat. The other way you can get a hold of us is if you drop by our socials on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and Blue Sky. They are all at Imperial Pulls, so you can join us there. And we usually post about what we're going to post for the week when we go live, and then the odd time we'll throw some shorts in there, or different posts for just different reasons. If we can't make an episode, or we're having fun on the road. Speaking of shorts, check out our YouTube channel. Where Mondays we do a different short, and Fridays we do Genesis Battle of Champions. Just about every week we have a short. We have 2 shorts on the week. So, Jason, you said Twitter, but the graphic says TikTok. You know what? It says TikTok, and I'm far away from the screen. And I can't even blame the glasses. Because of the layout we have this week, I've got a bunch of computer stats and disk usage and CPU usage on the screen, so I had to make the preview screen very small. But you are right, it is not Twitter. It is TikTok, Facebook, Discord, and Blue Sky. What would I do without you, Jason? I would just be here making mistakes, and everybody would believe me because it's the internet, and what you hear on the internet is true. Everybody, thank you so much for joining tonight. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and Brian will be here too with any luck. And we're probably going to try to redo that Jank episode that we should have nixed last week. But all in all, a great episode, great box of cards, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, everybody.